días, mi amigos. It is AFC Fitness back in sunny Spain. Just under a year ago, I was in Malaga, had a few days of leave left to use. Same again, I decided to come back to sunny Spain. This time I'm doing a weekend in Alicante by the seaside on the south coast once again. And when I told Tom I was coming here, he very kindly had a quick look at Footballogy. He found out that Elche are playing Athletic Bilbao whilst I'm here. Managed to sort the tickets earlier this week, though they went on sale a few days before the game. But last year I did a 4th tier Spanish game, El Palo in Malaga. Today I should do my first ever La Liga game. Very excited. Watched a couple of the La Liga games in a bar last night. I saw 2 Anthony goals for Real Betis, Sergio Villarreal. I watched it on the telly and thought they were saying in my sangria Anthony scoring 2 goals. And also went to another bar and watched Atletico Madrid scrape a win against Osasuna. I do love Spanish football and it's great to finally be able to see a top flight game. But what's interesting is it's nearly 7-hour drive from Bilbao, and you can see over there I've seen way more red and white Athletic Bilbao shirts that have Elche around here. So fair play to the Basque for their support. Atletico Bilbao, a club I'm quite fond of. I find the Basque region very interesting, hoping to go there at some point in the near future. Let's have a wander round. The sun is out and I'm in a jacket because it's October. Yes, I'm very hot. Now there's my lunch. A really mahu cerveza and a margarita. Look at this. Got so many Athletic Bilbao fans. All the fans are together. I love this. You don't get this in English football. It's all the fans of the other teams together. I've seen a couple rival fans chatting. It's wonderful. Also something unexpected. I bumped into some Elche fans, heard English accents. They're from Aldershot. That is not the kind of people I expected to meet here, but they're expats, live on the coast, season ticket holders. Very nice to meet some fellow Brits here. Let's do a circuit at the ground. Taquillas. I must say, on a day like this, it hits different. So some bits are a bit dirty, but on the whole it looks quite well maintained. Don't know why, I guess the vibes of baseball. Not sure what I mean. Sun's out, it's going to be a fun day. Let's go inside, but before we do, let's find out a bit about today's hosts, Elche.
Elche were founded in 1923 when all of the town's football clubs merged together. They partook in their first league campaign in 29-30, achieving promotion to the Segunda Division 4 years later. In the late 1950s, they achieved 2 promotions back-to-back to join the Liga for the first time. They finished in 5th place in 1964, their highest ever finish. 5 years later, they reached their only Copa del Rey final to date, losing 1-0 to Athletic Bilbao. They were relegated in 1971, but won the Segunda Division 2 years later, before being relegated again in 1978. They experienced promotions and relegations between the 1st and 2nd divisions in the late 80s, but at the turn of the decade, they encountered financial difficulties and ended up in the 3rd division. They did achieve a couple of promotions in the late 90s, before a lengthy spell back in the 2nd tier. In 2013, they won promotion back to top flight after 24 years away. 2 years later, they were relegated due to new rules limiting excess debt and economic mismanagement. And in 2017, they were relegated to 3rd tier. They achieved promotion in 2018 and were back in the top flight in 2020. Relegation followed in 2023, and they won the Segunda Division last season to once again reach the top flight. A positive start to the campaign has seen the club feeling optimistic about a lengthy stay in the top tier. Overall, they've won 7 3rd Division titles and 2 2nd Division titles. And a bit of trivia, Elche-Estadio hosted the biggest thrashing in World Cup history when Hungary defeated El Salvador 10-1 in the 1982 tournament. So those are our hosts, Elche. Let's have a look inside their home, Estadio Martínez Valero.
Buenos dias. Oh, look at that. Absolutely beautiful. What a wonderful day. Lovely game. Well, it's the same old problem here as getting English football. They had some lovely looking baguettes. Asked fish italianos. He said no. Tuna. Don't eat fish either, but found these little like knockoff Doritos. €2, I think they'll do. Protest I was hearing about on the radio. Stand still for the first 15 seconds because the Liga wants to play a game in America. I support that, the protest days. Way through the first half, it's tight, no team's had all this significant performance, so Elche slightly better side. Lovely sunny day, great atmosphere. Let's hope it's a goal to throw for us soon. No. So it is 0-0 at half time. In case you're wondering what that whistling is about, some controversial refereeing. From what I could see on the video, it looked like it was a handball by one of the Bilbao defenders. I couldn't tell you for sure because my vision's terrible. They thought there was going to be a red card, it wasn't given. Fans up against the ref, and he's been giving out yellow cards like he's Postman Pat. Very flamboyantly handing out yellows left, right and centre. But it's very tight. I think it's one of those games I've seen many like this where you just feel like one of the teams is going to nip it in the 70th minute. But like pounce on a mistake. We'll have to see who that'll be. Maybe the home side or the Basque boys. I don't know. But it's been a lovely atmosphere. Let's hope for a good second half. And hopefully Elche can get a winner. Half time, 0-0. Full time and the deadlock cannot be broken. I think it's a fair result overall. Elche are probably the slightly better side. Wasted their chances, can never really get anything concrete. But good luck to them for the rest of the season. It's been a fun experience and they've just got promoted, but certainly not here to make up numbers. Full time 0-0. Well, that was Elche. A great way to start the holiday. Really fun experience, but sadly I feel like I've had a better chance to find a flake of snow in this country than I am a goal. That's 2 games I've been to in Spain, no goals, both 0-0. Hopefully next time in this wonderful country, someone finally score. But absolutely wonderful experience, really nice atmosphere and welcome. Made friends with someone local who now lives in Dublin next to me. Really nice fans. But I've had a really nice time. Thank you again to Tomaldo for finding this game on the wonderful Footballogy and recommending it to me. It's definitely well worth the trip and really fun experience overall. My plan now is to go back quickly to the hotel, then pop out, maybe get a couple more cervezas, have some patatas bravas and catch Real Madrid's game on the telly. heading to Valencia early start tomorrow. Wherever I go on holiday, I find football. Time to rate the experience.
So we will start with the welcome, and absolutely lovely, to be fair. I didn't feel uncomfortable as an outsider at all. They were a lovely crowd to be amongst, and there was a fan next to me who was local. It was very chatty. She actually lived in Dublin but was from there originally. It was very nice. Didn't have any hostility at all, and I think the fact that there were so many Athletic Bilbao fans but there wasn't any hostility in any way. You could just see opposition fans chatting to each other, and I wish it was something that you could see more in English football. It was absolutely lovely, such a massive crowd, and really, really nice atmosphere going on around the ground. You had all the big section where people could drink and get food. It was really easy to do a customary circuit, and overall it's just absolutely lovely. Very friendly people, and I definitely recommend it as a match day experience. There's a lot of effort put in to make it a good day as well, with the music and everything on the screens. Everything's really well taken care of, so it's definitely somewhere I'd recommend to groundhoppers. And it's very obvious I was an outsider, but at no point did I feel uncomfortable being English, so I think it's a pretty solid welcome. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Food and drink is pretty decent. It was nice that they had those big bars outside, and there were plenty of places you could get something to eat or drink around the outside. They didn't muck about. They didn't just put one kiosk there and think that'll do. They spread loads around the outside of the ground. It was easy getting food inside. The one thing I would say is just need more labelling. Because when I got food inside, it was they just had a kiosk, but it didn't have a menu listing what they had. You could just see a bunch of baguettes and crisps, and it's fine if you're local, but to me I had to kind of just ask and hope there was something suitable for me, and I just ended up getting crisps. But a similar problem where all the main things don't have a veggie option. It would be nice to have a manchego baguette or something, but you definitely wouldn't be left hungry. There's still things to do as a vegetarian. Obviously got that margarita pizza outside, so it does a pretty good job of food and drink, pretty well thought out. Just maybe could do with a bit more signage to make it clear what you can get. So I'll probably give the food and drink a 7.5 out of 10. Stadium, it's for the most part pretty well kept, and it's quite clean. There were some areas that were maybe in a bit of disrepair, and I think again with the signage, they could have done with a bit of that. The food bit, when I actually got into the main bit of the ground, there wasn't actually any signs really to tell me where to go. It wasn't clear what block was where, so I had to end up asking a steward where my ticket actually was, which I almost never have to do. I can normally work it out. The seats themselves, I think the advantage of the seats they had, where it's sort of the plastic chair glued to the concrete, is that you get a lot of leg room. I suppose some people might see it's a bit dated, and I think that's not an unreasonable thing, but to be fair, they were quite comfy seats, so it wasn't too bad. I think one thing is it's on the south coast of Spain. You got completely open air. Could have done with a bit of roofing perhaps, just to stop the sun coming in. I caught the sun a bit on my arms, and it's this was October and it's 26 degrees. Goodness knows what it's like in the really, really hot months. But yeah, it's very difficult to be shaded from the sun. There were just a few areas where you'd be a bit lucky. They really could do with a proper roof just to get a bit more shade in the ground. But the stadium, for whatever reason, I sort of gave me a very American vibe, like a baseball or NFL stadium, which I quite liked. It again, it just added to that sort of concept of going somewhere new. I think it's a really nice ground, and most areas are pretty well kept, but I just think there needs to be a bit more signage, maybe some improvement on the seats and a roof. But for the most part, they do provide it with the lick of paint necessary that so many grounds seem to avoid. So a few things that would change, but still a pretty good stadium. Everywhere you sat had a good view, cut off from the outside world, and a really pleasant experience. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Atmosphere, it was pretty solid considering it was a 0-0. It worked out really well. The Atletico Bilbao fans certainly helped that too, but just that moment at the start, the fans had their scarves in the air singing the anthem, that was absolutely beautiful. I was amazed by that, how they just turned the speakers down, just let the fans sing, no other noise, just the Elche fans and the green scarves in the air with them singing their anthem. It was absolutely wonderful. And they really got behind the team. It reached fever pitch levels when they were angry at the referee, but it was a great atmosphere to be against. They got behind the team, really cheered them on, and never went quiet. So very good atmosphere. And, Elche weren't a club I knew much about, but fair play, they've got a really good fan base. Give the atmosphere 9 out of 10. And finally, value for money. I think this is one area that was a bit tricky, because the website was terrible for a start. Absolutely dreadful. It was as you translate it to English, and for ages it would just say match tickets, and then it would try and take you to a bit that said season tickets, and I had to email them so many times to try and work it out. And then when tickets finally were available, the website just didn't work really well. Like, it kept refreshing when you're trying to get a ticket. I think the pricing was a bit strange because it was like, where I went was about €50, but it's because I kept trying to get one to like €30. But I kind of think, considering it's a bowl stadium and it's not too complicated, 2 tiers that go all the way round, I don't really see why there were such massive differences in prices. Like, some tickets were like €120, which is ridiculous. And I just kind of think, I can't see how there's many seats that offer that level of difference. Like, unless you're in like an executive suite, which these tickets weren't, how can you charge £100 more than other tickets that would get a good view of the game? Like, everything had a good seat. They just didn't make it clear enough what was what. I think the ticket was a bit extortionate. At least it was a good experience. I'm a bit more okay with that. Like, the food was affordable. It wasn't too expensive. Shame no pin badges in the club shop. But yeah, the ticket I felt was a bit weird and not a good experience, and I think a bit extortionate. But in terms of everything else, say for money, like getting there and stuff was okay. The ticket pricing was very inconsistent. I think could have been a lot better, so I'll probably give the value for money 5 out of 10. So I'm back in Blighty now, absolutely exhausted, but it was nice to get away for a few days, enjoy some sangrias and tapas. We're back in England now. Thank you, Tomaldo, once again for finding this fixture to me. It's much appreciated. 2 years in a row you found me a game to do in Spain. And to see more videos like this, you can check out the link below with my Patreon and support me for as little as £1 a month to help fund days out like this. Thank you all for watching. I've been FC Finners. See you next time and stick with us as we go ground to ground. FC Finners out.